Life is full of challenges for everyone. However, some people face more challenges than others. For children, there are some risk factors in early childhood that, if identified early, will go a long way to help their resilience and development. Here are 3 common upbringing risks for children's psychological development. The first risk factor I want to mention is that of insecure attachment. Attachment is the deep connection that is established between a child and their caregiver that profoundly affects the child's development and ability to express emotions and develop relationships. Children with attachment disorders or other attachment problems have difficulty connecting to others and managing their own emotions, and this may result in a lack of trust and self-worth, a fear of getting close to anyone, anger, or a need to be in control. A child with an attachment disorder feels unsafe and alone. Now, attachment disorders are the result of negative experiences in this early relationship. If young children feel repeatedly abandoned, isolated, powerless, or uncared for whatever reason, they will learn that they can't depend on others and the world is a dangerous and frightening place. Reactive attachment disorder and other attachment problems occur when children have been unable to consistently connect or bond with a parent or primary caregiver. Current statistics are telling us that about 40 to 45% of children in Australia are classified as insecurely attached, and that same figure is about the same in Great Britain and America. Researchers have found that children who excel in social situations as young adults had mothers who provided an enduring secure base and a positive model for intimate relationships within the family, and fathers who had provided exciting play and interactive challenges. So there seems to be 2 separate attachment roles for 2 separate but equally significant functions. One attachment role is to provide love and security, and the other attachment role is to engage in exciting and challenging experiences. Different roles, but equally significant. The second risk factor is what I call impersonal childcare. Now, this research comes from the Early Childhood Research Network. While childcare is given for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, by multiple staff members when none of them have become an attachment figure, then that's a second risk factor. Take, for instance, this scenario. Mum and Dad both working a 5-day-a-week gig, rushing home to read the kids a bedtime story and leaving the house again before they finish breakfast. They may well come from well-functioning middle-class families, but they now have a risk factor. Now, I realise that this is fast becoming one of the greatest moral dilemmas of our time. Last year, there were 50,000 children in out-of-home care, 18,000 of them removed from their biological families for more than 2 years. And this figure is dwarfed in comparison to the millions of children worldwide who are either in orphanages or living parentless on the streets. These kids cannot speak for themselves. They are relying on us to get it right. The third risk factor is that of entrenched parental conflict. We know that a child's development is profoundly influenced by the quality of their caregiving relationships. What parental conflict does is that it impairs parents' emotional availability to their children. So when children soak up their parents' conflict by witnessing it, it impacts their emotional and psychological growth. Family violence harms young children, even if they are still in the womb. They don't have to actually see the abuse. Children can smell fear. They can sense it, literally through skin contact. Studies show pregnant women subjected to violence and trauma can release stress hormones that cross the placenta into the womb, and those babies can have growth problems in their nervous systems and their brains. Research shows that what happens to a child in the first 3 years of its life can have an enormous impact on that child's brain development, their social emotional well-being, and later mental health. So then, here are the 3 risk factors for which we need to be alert. It's worth noting, I think, that in many cases it's not too late to intervene for a child arriving at kindergarten or school. We can reduce the severity of these identified problems by preventing them occurring in the first place. Good quality support services at the right time can support families and may reduce some of the harm to which children are exposed.